Also, in the Canadian Women's Hockey League, the Montreal Stars play the Boston Blades in a special charity match called The Game to Beat Breast Cancer. That is at Étienne Desmarteaux Arena at 3 p.m. Doors open at 2 p.m. There's a silent auction outside of the rink, and the funds from that silent auction will go to the Quebec Breast Cancer Foundation. Now, part of that silent auction is photos, and it's from a project from the Collège Regina Assumpta called Carrément Rose. It started with a class, and it took over the entire school. It's become this motivating force for students at the school, and they've done a great job with this project. But this is their real test, their first test. We're going to speak to Secondary 3 student Nicola Tiolis later on in the program, and he will tell us what today is like for him. He's got to be pretty excited. He's responsible for getting somebody pretty famous in the music world to pose for a photo. I'll tell you who it is. I know my technician Dominique is looking at me like, tell me. But I won't. I'm going to tell you later on, Dominique, along with everybody else. But first, let's take a look at the weather for Quebec. There is still...
Here, two teachers from Sec 3 at Regina Assumpta, they decided to bring the project. Well, they funded it they funded it, and they decided to present it to the Sec 3 students at Regina. It all started out with Karen Michael that was affected by breast cancer. And they kind of presented the project to us as just like a fun thing to do. That's it.
And how did the project, what were some of the assignments you had to do? Like, I know on the first day of school, this started from the first day of school.
Yes.
What happened on the first day?
Well, that's it. Miss Barnes, our French teacher, presented the project to us, and they wanted us to, for Entrevue Rose, that was the first project we wanted to do. They wanted us, the boys actually, they wanted to show the implication of the boys for breast cancer, and they wanted us to sell an object that was worth something to our eyes, or that has some value, and so that was the first project. Cause
what did you learn from that?
From Entrevue Rose?
From learning from having to sell an object that meant something to you, that was close to you.
Well, that's it. We kind of, because we normally associate breast cancer with girls and women, because they're mostly affected by this. But boys have also to live with it, because they have sisters and mothers and girlfriends and eventually daughters that have to live with it, or maybe have to. So it was like we kind of learned how to live with something missing, or like some restrictions in our lives, or stuff like that. Okay.
And I know that, you took a poll in your class of students who were affected by breast cancer. How did that turn out?
I'm sorry?
I know you took a poll. You asked students in your class how many of them were affected by breast cancer.
Yeah, that's it. Well, the family members or friends that were affected, and there was a lot of people from just my class. There was about four of the people that were actually related to someone somehow that had breast cancer or something. So it was a very big proportion of the people.
And I know you were affected by it as well.
Yes. My grandmother had it a couple of years ago, so that's how I ended up taking a portrait rose with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an interesting photo because we were, me and my three brothers that were in Sec 3 right now, we were on the picture with my mother too, because she participated in the project with l'Association des Parents of Regina. And, well, that's how I was affected.
Okay. What do you understand now that you maybe didn't understand when you were younger, when your grandmother had breast cancer?
Well, I didn't really understand anything before because I was young, and I was kind of living with it. I knew she wasn't doing so good, but now really we talked about it, and even next week there's a gynecologist from Saint Justine that's going to talk to the girls from Sec 3 to explain about breast cancer, and that's how we learn. We're Sec 3, we're still 14, 15 years old, and we started learning about it right away.
But this is a project that really has taken over the school, though. It's not just secondary 3 that's getting involved now.
Well, it started off with 450 students from Sec 3, but it really doesn't stop growing. It's really, we get celebrities to take Portrait Rose with us, and it's like this big network that day by day keeps growing.
And I know you're also learning about the disease itself, and you're also learning that men are affected by this as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that was one of the lessons that you guys were learning from some of the education seminars you're getting on breast cancer. The Portrait Rose, though, this is the first big initiative for Carrément Rose today, anyway, because they're being auctioned off at the game at Etienne Desmarteaux Arena this afternoon. Exactly. One of the portraits is of world-renowned DJ Mistress Barbara.
Yes.
And tell me about that portrait and how you got it, but also tell me about that portrait.
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, the celebrities we get to do Portrait Rose with us are not just people we call and go like, oh, hi, I don't know you, but would you want to hear about us? No, we're all somehow related. The Sec 3 students are somehow related to the celebrities. So for Mistress Barbara, she's my aunt's friend for this example. So I got in touch with her. She was, oh, yes, and she was affected too by it because her mom had breast cancer and still maybe has it. We don't know yet. So that's why it's so interesting because we have two kind of series of Portrait Rose. We have the students with their parents or family members that had breast cancer and the celebrities. So she was combining both types of Portrait Rose.
The photos are beautiful. I was looking at some of them online. It's actually at carrementrose.tumblr.com, TUMBLR.com, if you want to take a look at them.
That's good.
They're beautiful. What are some of the other photos at the auction? I know some of them are students, but you have to incorporate pink into these photos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you decide to do that?
Well, at the beginning it was more abstract. It was just lines in the face or complete. We had pink all over the place for the first real ambassador, Carrément Michael. Well, actually now we're getting we're starting the new series of Portrait Rose that's going to be on auction this spring. Mm-hmm. And we're going a little further. We're taking the pictures where the celebrities live and in their where they live or where they work, and we tried to put them something that represents them. Like for Mrs. Barbara, she went, "Oh, on est enflammé." So we were like, "Oh, okay, that's a good idea." So we just put flames.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that in the photo. And You're also playing hockey today because it's not just Montreal against Boston. It's also your school that's playing hockey right after during the intermissions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're playing between the second and third period, and after the third period, with Les Panthères de Regina Assunta. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We're gonna get to play with professional girls that went to the Olympics and everything. So it's
wow.
Really,
that's going to be fun.
Yes.
You're going to have a good time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Nicola.
You're welcome.
And good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Nicola Tiolis is a secondary 3 student at Collège Regina Assumpta in Ahuntsic. The game is at 3 p.m. at Etienne Desmarteaux Arena, 3430 de Bellechasse in Rosemont, between Montreal and Boston. You can bid on the portraits at the arena. There's also a sports memorabilia up for grabs. Admission to the game is free, but all proceeds from the silent auction go to the Quebec Breast Cancer Foundation. Right now, let's take a look at the